last time we learned to draw in two-point perspective. Today, we're going to learn a little bit about skyscrapers, and then you guys are going to design your own skyscraper. We're going to look at three styles of skyscrapers today. The first style is Art Deco. Art Deco came out in like the 1920s. It was about the time that they started making streamlined cars and trains. A lot of Art Deco style has geometric shapes, a lot of metallic colors, so like golds and silvers, but it also has sort of an organic quality. So it's a sort of mix of technical geometry and beauty. The quintessential Art Deco skyscraper is the Chrysler building, and it has a lot of the hallmarks of Art Deco. It has geometric patterns, has lots of chrome and steel. It's a very shiny building, and it has this big, tall spire on the top. So that is the really defining characteristic of an Art Deco building. A little interesting story about the Chrysler building. At the time it was being built, there were two buildings going up in New York City, and they were both competing to see who could be the tallest building in New York. The Chrysler building and the 40 Wall Street building. 40 Wall Street was planned to be a little bit taller, about 2 feet taller than the Chrysler building. But to make sure they were number one, they added an extra 3 stories to the building, so they were guaranteed that the tallest building in the world was going to be the 40 Wall Street building. However, William Van Allen, the architect of the Chrysler building, had a secret weapon, a 35 meters tall steel spire built entirely in secret, snuck into the building and assembled in just 90 minutes. So on the opening day, William Van Allen, the architect, was down in the lobby and he was dressed like this, having a party, because he now had the tallest building in the world. It didn't last very long, though. Just 1 year later, there was the new world's tallest building, another Art Deco building. Notice the big, beautiful spire on the top. Empire State Building was the tallest building in the world for a very long time, 40 years. It's 102 stories tall, again, Art Deco. One of the things that makes it look so awesome, and even today, is that it's sort of away from the other tall buildings in New York, so it really stands out compared to the buildings that are around it. Makes it look even bigger than it actually is. When they were designing it, one of the original plans was that you were going to be able to park your blimp on the top. So that big spire on the top of the Empire State Building was going to be a blimp attachment. I don't know if they were ever really going to do that. That was kind of a pie-in-the-sky dream, but hey, you know, it's a cool idea. Now, Art Deco didn't last forever. Another style came along and completely wiped it out. It is known as International Style. A lot of people agree it got started around the time of the Bauhaus movement. So the Bauhaus was a design studio in Germany. That's the Bauhaus building. They designed it to look as clean and modern as possible. Now, I know you look at that, it just looks kind of like a normal building. There's nothing particularly crazy about it. But at the time, this was the craziest building anybody had ever seen. Buildings in Germany pretty much all looked like this at the time. So you could imagine if this weird square boxy building without a pointy top and this entire wall made of glass, it just blew people's minds. People either hated it or loved it. But eventually, this style took over. And that connected in with how they designed skyscrapers. So international style skyscrapers are always super clean. The quintessential international style building would probably be the World Trade Center. It's the tallest building in the world for only 2 years. It's completed in 1973. It was destroyed in 2001 by a bunch of jerks. And it is a perfect example of international style. Now, it did not last long as the world's tallest building. It was overtaken by the Sears Tower, tallest building in the world for 25 years. It was so big that half of the offices were empty during the 1980s. So they built this thing and it was so big they couldn't even find people to go inside of it. Again, it's international style. You can see it's clean and sleek. It's geometric. Cool thing about this, there is a window on the top there that you can walk out of. And it's like a little glass box that you can go and see all of Chicago from. Now, international style didn't last forever. People got kind of bored with it. Things were too simple, too clean, and quite frankly, they were a little boring. So people needed to break out of it. They needed to try something new. And we got into what's called postmodern style. Now, postmodern is a little bit harder to define than international style. It's basically you take some of the stuff of international style, but you kind of start playing around with it. A lot of times things have inspiration from nature or the world around you or history. So it's not purely a simple geometric box. It does have some kind of shape or meaning to it, but it's still, pretty clean. Taipei 101 it was the tallest building from 2004 to 2010. It is referred to as a postmodern because it is still is pretty simple and clean, but it is also have some sort of shape and form to it. It's supposed to be sort of reminiscent of classical Asian building styles like pagodas, so it's got this sort of tiered look to it. It does have another cool thing in there. It has a tuned mass dampener. What is that? Well, it's a giant steel ball that's being hung from these steel cables up at the top there. It weighs 660 tons, and it's there for a reason. See, Taiwan does suffer from earthquakes on occasion, and this thing helps balance it in the case of an earthquake. So, what is the #1 in the world right now? Anybody know? Just shout it out. That's right. It's the Burj Khalifa. Tallest building in the world. It is designed to sort of resemble an Arabian flower when looked at from the top. All right, so where is the next world's tallest building going to be? That's a good question. Who's building one now? Well, China is trying. They want to be the #1 in the world at most things. So they are trying to be #1 in the world tallest building. What they're trying to build is referred to as Sky City. Going to be 220 stories built in just 90 days. Well, that's the plan anyway. I'm not sure if it's going to happen, but hey, it's a good plan. Saudi Arabia is also trying to become the #1. They're trying to build something called the Kingdom Tower in Jeddah, which is projected to be 1,000 meters tall. It looks sort of like the Burj Khalifa, but it also kind of looks like Avengers Tower where Tony Stark lives because it's got this little landing platform out there for your Iron Man suits. But hey, we'll see if that one gets built either. All right, so your assignment, you're going to design a skyscraper. You will need to explain the inspiration for your design. It can be either Art Deco, modern style, or international style, so simple and clean. Or you can go with postmodern, so that is inspiration from nature, mathematics, history. So if you want to design one that's based off of a plant or an animal or a spaceship, or anything else, that would probably be postmodern style. You'll draw your final design needs to be in 2-point perspective and needs to be clean, simple, and free of distractions. We do want to focus mainly on your skyscraper. We do need a couple little buildings around the side just to show how awesome your building is in comparison, but your building should definitely be the biggest, most impressive building in this, in your drawing.
All right, so let's get into this. Now we're drawing a skyscraper. We want it to be big and tall, so we're going to want our paper vertically this way. Now for today, I am going to draw a skyscraper that is sort of international style. You do not need to copy mine, okay? You can get creative with yours. If you want to draw in a different style, if you want yours to look nothing like this, that would be great. I'm just going to show you one way to do it. If you're not sure what to do, you can kind of copy mine. That's okay. You're going to need a pencil, definitely going to need a ruler, probably going to need a marker. If we get time, we can put some color on it, but our main mission is going to be the drawing for this. As always, I've got Taco in my lap. Say hi, Taco. Back to work. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is put in my horizon line. I'm going to put it in about a little bit below halfway, so maybe about 40% from halfway. Straight across there. Now we're going to put our vanishing points in all the way out on the edge, okay? We want to get these way out there as far as they can go. Okay, next, let's start putting my skyscraper in. We're going to put him right in the center. So I'm going to do a big tall line, kind of right near the middle here, maybe a little off to the side. And you can see I left a little room at the bottom and a little room at the top. We want to have a little bit of room, top and bottom, put in my street. Now I'm going to draw this line nice and dark because I'm not going to be erasing it. Okay, now I can start doing my building. So I'm going to start with the top of the building. All right, if I want to do international style, boom, I'm done. Simple and clean. No, let's get a little bit fancier. International style doesn't just mean boring. Let's do something cool. We'll make a double building. So I'm going to go from the top of this building. I'm going to add a second building. It's going to line up perfectly and stick it right next door. There we go. You know what? Let's make a little a sky walkway between the two buildings. So we'll go up on the side here and we'll connect our buildings. Now, we do need to see the underside of this sky thing, so we're going to see a line going across there. All right, looks kind of like a big H, sort of, like Avengers Tower. Okay, what else can we add? Let's add some more cool stuff. Let's add a park. Okay, not everything should just be glass and steel. Let's add some grass and trees to this building. So I'm going to add a little bit. It's like a little balcony. It's going to stick out from the bottom here. So there's a platform. Let's give it some width. It's a little bit too skinny right now. We're going to need a door. Should be able to get out there. All right, there's my little platform. Let's add, if you want to add anything organic, you don't really need to worry about the ruler as much. So, you can add some trees. There's a little path, some bushes. All right, it's looking pretty good. Let's add a skybox up here so people can walk out and look over the city, kind of like that building that was in Chicago. So we'll add the side first. Okay, so that's where my skybox is going to stick out of. And then we got to make it stick out, so we go out from the sides. It's looking pretty good. Let's give them some decoration on the side. Remember, any lines that are going on the sides of this building need to go to the vanishing points. All right, let's give it a little entryway. Want to be able to get into my building somehow. Now, we're not done just by doing the skyscraper. You do need to put a couple of boring little buildings in there just to make this one look awesome. You can put them in on the sides the same way we did those buildings we did last time. So just put some simple buildings in. All right, and if you want to add anything else that's organic, remember you don't need to worry about the perspective as much. You can just add in all the little trees, little people that you want. Okay, like put some little mountains in the background. Anything else you want to add, little decoration, that's up to you, just to make it more of a complete drawing. So, a little helicopter in. Superman. If you want to add anything geometric that's going in perspective, remember, just draw it like a regular box and then decorate it. All right, I'm looking pretty good. I'm feeling pretty happy about that. Let's go in. Let's do some inking. All right, I'm going to fast forward through the inking. And go in and erase the pencil. And of course, if you have time, do some color. So I'll put some color on this. I'll fast forward a little bit. You can take a look at it as it goes. All right, I'm feeling pretty good about that. I got some color in there. If you get time, do try and get some color in there. It's good practice. All right, good luck. Say goodbye, Taco.